Hi everybody, David Dilling from Markzware, and today on the line we have Gordie Dunlap from Pennsylvania, the middle of Pennsylvania, and he's a graphic designer, and he's going to tell us about his experiences with Markzware's PDF to DTP, and that's a PDF to InDesign conversion filter. And let's get over to the Skype now and hear from Gordie himself. Gordie, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Excellent. Yeah, but you can tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure thing. I'm a graphic designer. Started in 1987 working on mechanicals and pay stubs before the advent of the computer. And then we got our first computer in 1988 in the advertising agency I was in. And everything has been learned on the job since then. I work in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. Those would probably be the three main workhorses that I put to use every day.
Right. And where do you work at a group? It's a hospital group, or?
Sure. I work for an organization called UPMC Susquehanna, which includes 7 hospitals, and it is a kind of a hub of a larger healthcare system based in Pittsburgh called UPMC.
Right.
And so, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, are you doing design work for all 7, or is it like department, you know?
I am doing design work for all 7, yes. Wow. Actually, all 7 hospitals in our hub, so I definitely am very busy. I mean, amongst other things, we're in the middle of a huge rebranding because we were previously used to be called Susquehanna Health. Then we became part of that larger organization in Pittsburgh, UPMC. So we're adopting all of their branding guidelines and their fonts and colors and, you know, everything. So everything we have is going through a rebrand over the last few years. Wow, so it's job security.
Yeah, massive amount of work, yeah. Well, I remember I broke my leg about 5 years ago. And I remember right before the operation, they give you like a packet of all this print work, you know, all the. I thought the only thing good about this is good for printers, you know, this broken leg. But anyway, I guess you're doing a print work and online work, or.
Sure, I don't do much online. Everything I do is pretty much, you know, print advertising and collateral. So like brochures, rack cards. Print ads, billboards, things like that. Actually, sort of working my way into InDesign, your software has been a major influencer. So just a little bit of background, every designer probably knows that you can take a PDF file and reverse engineer it by opening it in Illustrator, and presto, you have an editable file. But there's a lot of drawbacks to working in Illustrator that, you know, that do not exist in InDesign. For example, you bring it into Illustrator, some of the text is converted to paths. Yeah. You know, some of the text is in individual lines instead of paragraphs, or even individual characters, which is insane. It's very difficult to work in. And I thought, you know, up until I found your software, I thought, oh yeah, I've got the big secret here. I can open stuff in Illustrator and work on it, and you know, reverse engineer. But once I tried your product, working on stuff in InDesign is so much easier, and that's why I don't really know a whole lot about InDesign yet, is because I am have you ever heard of the program Freehand?
Yeah, sure.
For Freehand, that is what I was kind of like born and raised on as a graphic designer starting in the 80s, and that led to working in Illustrator just as a natural progression, because Illustrator is very similar to Freehand. Once Freehand died, you know, that's where I went.
Yeah,
but
so you were doing everything in Illustrator for like all your ad work in Illustrator.
Yeah, and so like come to find out that InDesign, you know, let's say you have an ad and you have to format it in 17 different sizes for 17 different publications. InDesign has the adjust layout feature, which is incredible. Makes life so much easier. I mean, I used to do all that manually.
Yeah,
which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, that's why there's the advantages. Yeah. A
lot of this is more of a testimonial to InDesign, but your product is what kind of opened the door for me to work in InDesign.
And how did you find?
What's that?
Sorry, say that, Gordie.
Okay. I was going to say that I still like to work in Illustrator. I still feel more at home in that environment, but it's just InDesign is really making a lot of things so much easier that yeah, I'm in a learning curve.
Right. Right. Well, I know, you know, I've had several designers over the years that work with us or for us, and a couple of them also swore by Illustrator, everything in Illustrator whenever possible, and one even was Photoshop, everything in Photoshop, you know, which for the text I found a little more tricky. But anyway, you know, he made some cool stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So, okay, so how did you find Markzware's PDF2DTP? Was it like a Google search, or did you learn about it? You know.
I think I had heard of it before. Like, you guys have some other products converting like Quark files to InDesign, and a while back, I had a reason to need to convert a lot of Quark files to something I could edit once Quark kind of was phased out, at least of my life. I think it still exists, but everything kind of converted over to the Adobe platform, and I had some Quark stuff that I needed to convert. So I think I did purchase the Quark to InDesign product several years ago, and so it was in the back of my mind. And maybe within the last year, I thought, I wonder if there's a product to convert PDF to InDesign. And what tipped me off that InDesign might be a good place to work on stuff was I went to the Adobe MAX conference back in October.
Excellent.
And learned about adjust layout there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, this is insane. I'm doing all this stuff by, you know, manually in Illustrator. InDesign becomes necessary, so that's what prompted me to just do a Google search, not a Gurgle search. Well, for your product.
Gurgle.com, that might be a good one.
There you go. Anyway, there it was, and I ordered it, and I pretty much use it almost every day, I would say.
Wow.
You know.
And what sort of files are you converting? Is it is it internal work, I guess, that all you have is the PDF left? Or?
External facing stuff like brochures, like let's say somebody in the hospital auxiliary has done a brochure about that, you know, and they've done it in Microsoft Word, and I need to take that and put it in our new UPMC Susquehanna brochure format. It's just something that becomes a lot easier with your product. Yep.
Click and it comes in.
Yep.
Great. Well, I think you covered a lot of really great stuff. Do you have any particular anything else you want to add about, you know, where PDF2DTP is saved the Friday afternoon or the Monday morning?
No, I was going to throw in some suggestions if
sure. No, that's great.
And probably not for the video testimonial here, but when I use your product, it's 99% of the time does a perfect job. So that's great. One thing that I wish could be different is the way that it names, like it brings in photos that are in a file that I'm converting, and it names them all. It uses the same exact name convention for them all. So if like a year later, 6 months later, I need to find the photo that is used in this brochure, there are probably 50 other TIFF files on my computer with that exact name. And I wish that there was a way that it could, I know it would make file names a lot longer, but I wish it could take part of the file name that is converting and use that in the name of the photo.
That's a great question. That's a great request. It's a great question. Probably will leave it in the video because it's a lot of people have this this question.
Okay.
The problem is most of the time it has to do with the way the PDF was exported or created, and generally they're older PDFs. And what you'll see is that with older PDFs, that Acrobat literally did not preserve the file name, so all you get is image IMG1, IMG2, IMG3, etc.
Yep.
And there's absolutely nothing we can do. Yeah.
No, what I was saying is I wish that there was a way that your software could insert some of the brand new file name that it's creating for the whole InDesign file. I don't know if that's possible.
Oh,
instead of image one TIFF or whatever convention it uses to say, you know, UPMCS brochure, blah, blah, blah.
I gotcha. Oh, that's a good suggestion maybe, yeah. That could be something that engineers...
wicked long file names, but it would be easier to find stuff.
You're absolutely right. That's a good, okay. Yeah, we'll take that as a suggestion. Yeah, good one.
Okay. All right.
Anything else?
Can't think of anything else to add. I'm just very happy to have found your product, and it makes life a lot easier.
Excellent.
It's like a secret weapon. I saw that in your somewhere in your information there, and it really is like a secret weapon.
Yeah, that was another gentleman I interviewed up in Massachusetts. That's what he said. It's our secret weapon, you know. So Well, let me. I mean, I asked this. I mean, obviously, the answer is quite clear. But would you recommend Markzware's PDF2DTP to other potential customers?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Gordon, I really appreciate the time and letting us know how your experience with PDF2DTP has been and what you do. What I'm going to do now is let the people see here in my Chrome. That's the web page from UPMC, and here is Gordon over on LinkedIn, and I'm going to try to do a connect to Skype. So anything you want to add in closing, Gordon?
No, just love your product. Thank you for putting it out there.
Awesome. And we really appreciate the time, and have a great day.
You too. Thanks.